I'm Scott Knapp, and I'm the lighting artist for Plushy Night. I'm pretty much in charge of establishing mood and color theory throughout the game. So I work in unison with our material and shading artist, Jonathan. Right now, I'm kind of going through the process of setting up lighting for both in-game and for our cutscenes. So for our cinematics, I'm going through and establishing shaders and materials, as well as setting up lights, determining the mood for each shot. So one of the biggest challenges with working in a team this large is that we kind of have to set up a workflow for having our modelers and animators be able to work on what they need to do at the same time that I'm able to set up lighting and look development for our final cutscenes. Pretty much a workflow we established early on was having their files be referenced into my lighting scenes, and that way they can work on what they need to do and I can work on their proxy level stuff until they give me final quality material that I'm able to light and kick out renders. Another constraint that we've had to deal with is just time. Obviously, with getting these cinematics in, render times and all that kind of stuff is something that is always an issue. So just pretty much getting the most efficient and clean lighting scenes that I'm able to do has really helped out. Another thing that came up was how we're going to have this final look be established. I wanted to have the most control in post, so what I did was set up a linear workflow to give myself absolute control with my render passes and layers and everything. That way, if there's anything art directors or leads needed to change later on, I could go in post and fix all that stuff up. Because Plushy Night has such a kind of more serious tone, very sad story, we wanted the lighting and everything to kind of complement that. There's also this sense of terror and kind of fright with enemies that she faces, the photo ghosts and even Chiron. We wanted a scary mood in some areas just because she's scared that she's going to lose these memories is kind of the internal struggle she's going through. She's lost her father and she wants to combat this grief with happy memories. There's areas in the game where we have beautifully lit, very nice and happy areas, and these convey that things are going to be okay in her future, as long as she holds on to these memories that make her happy. She's also fighting at the same time these things that are getting in her way of remembering these happy thoughts. In those instances, we have, very stark contrast and darker areas, especially in the Chiron fight, it comes out. A really good benefit of working on this game was just being able to do the deferred rendering. All the lighting and everything was happening in real time. I come from a pre-rendered background. I usually do stuff rendered out of Maya or Mental Ray or V-Ray. Having in-game lighting was kind of like a little treat, you don't have to sit around and wait for render times. It was really cool just kind of diving into this new realm of hand placing all these lights and toying around with stuff and being able to see the results in real time. That's been kind of a cool part of working on this game. Getting feedback from leads and everything, you're just easily able to go in and change a couple values and see a result right there while they're standing next to you. So we're able to get this final look that we're shooting for. Another thing that we kind of struggled with early on was getting the shaders and materials to look good for each object in the game. Obviously, this has a huge impact on how everything is lit. We just kind of did this tug-of-war game of getting our geometry to look right, our textures to look right, and our materials to look right. That way, the lighting would look as good as possible and reach the fidelity that we wanted it to be. Working on a production pipeline like this I feel really prepared me to go in the industry as a lighting artist. Coming out of FIEA, I definitely want to move right into lighting or some form of look development. I feel like it's one of the most important parts of any kind of production, games, film, visual effects. It's what brings everything together and makes everything look pretty at the end of the day. I feel like my experience here has definitely prepared me for that.